Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about angles and we're going to be looking at a few different types of angles, and there's going to be future videos about angles, so we're not going to cover everything just now, just a few of the earlier steps. So first up, what is an angle? An angle is the difference between two lines or structures in terms of direction, not in distance. There are a number of different types of angles, such as an acute angle, a right angle, an obtuse angle, a straight angle, a reflex angle, or a complete or full angle. Now that complete or full angle, sometimes it's also called a total angle. It doesn't show up very often, so it doesn't matter so much. It is definitely the least important out of all the angle names that we have there. Now to further go into what is an angle remains the same even if the shape is rotated, because what it really is about is the change of direction. If you were going to go from B to A, so you're heading in this direction, right? But starting at B, instead of heading towards A, you want to change your mind and head towards C. You have to change the angle in which you position yourself to end up going in that different direction. The angle is represented by this semicircle here, and we also give it a number. Now, when something is an L shape, it is 90 degrees. When it's less so, it makes this shape, which we're going to go into it. So this is less than 90, and this is what we measure normally, the interior of the angle, or also known as the interior angle, or sometimes also the internal angle. Similarly, on the outside of an angle, you call it either the exterior of an angle or an external angle. Also, another thing to make mention of, the corner where two lines meet, where you're looking at an angle, that is also known as the vertex. Now, here is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. It's called an acute angle. And I make mention of that 90 degrees because it's just like that capital L shape that I mentioned earlier. These are all smaller than a capital L, as in these lines are closer together, and hence the angle is smaller. As these two lines get closer together, the angle becomes smaller. We can see more examples of that over here. This one here is only a little bit smaller than 90 degrees. But it is an acute angle just like all the others are. And we can see that the number would get smaller as it goes down to this one, down to this one, down to this one, and this last one over here is a very small angle. They are all acute angles because they are less than 90 degrees. Now here is the perfect L shape that I was making reference to, a right angle. Now a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. Now whilst this semicircular curve is the thing that denotes an angle of where we are measuring, it is this little square here that is indicative of it being 90 degrees, a perfect right angle. Not on every right angle will it have a square, but every time there is a square, it will be a right angle. It will be exactly 90 degrees. Now here are a few examples of some right angles within a triangle, and hence this is called a right angled triangle. This is a right angle here. There will also be one over here, and there, here and there, and all within a rectangle. So what we need to remember is that when lines are at 90 degrees to each other, they are known as perpendicular. The ones at the top of a rectangle, they're parallel. The ones that are on the sides are parallel with each other. But the one on top and the one on the side, they are perpendicular to each other. And for something to be perpendicular, it has to be 90 degrees. As we can see, there's a number of perpendicular lines here. We'll get more into that in a future video. Now, an obtuse angle is an angle that's more than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. So as we can see, this is bigger. These are further apart than what it would be if it was an L shape. So this angle here, this semicircle, is bigger, but it is not quite so big as if it was 180 degrees, which is what a straight line looks like. We'll be seeing more of that later. But now here's some more examples of some obtuse angles. So this one, which is only a little bit more than 90 degrees, it's only a little bit bigger than an L shape. This one a bit more, that one a bit more, this one a lot more. This one was very close to 180 degrees, as it is almost straight. So just a bit of a recap of the things that we've learnt so far. An acute angle is smaller than a capital L. A capital L is what a right angle is, exactly 90 degrees. Whilst an obtuse angle is larger than an L, but smaller than a straight line. Now, what is the angle of a straight line? It's 180 degrees. We call these angles a straight angle. So as we can see, all of these straight lines, it doesn't matter where they're pointing to, the angle of that line will be 180 degrees. Now, a reflex angle is an angle that is greater than 180 degrees. So it's more than what a straight line would be, but it's less than 360 degrees, which is what a full circle would be, which we will see more of in a sec. But now here are some further examples of reflex angles. So this one's 185 degrees, this one 205, 250, even bigger one over here, bigger again, 300, and almost a complete angle there, 350 degrees. Something else that I need to make mention of will be that you have internal and external angles, internal on the inside, external on the outside. As we can see, that if you look at the opposite of these reflex angles, you have different size angles on the other side. You would have an obtuse angle here, an obtuse angle there, an obtuse angle there. This one, you'd have an acute angle. And it's very clear to see that it'd be an acute angle in this one. It's only a very small angle that is left after you've taken out the reflex. We'll mention more about this in later videos. And this is a better illustration of exactly what I was just talking about. You have your internal angle, you have your external angle. A lot of the time this external angle will be a reflex angle because there may be less than 180 degrees on the interior, which means there will be more than 180 and less than 360 on the exterior. So that right there is a reflex angle. Now, if a straight angle makes half a circle, does this mean both sides are 180 degrees each? Yes, absolutely. And combining the two will make a complete or full angle of 360 degrees. 180 plus 180 will equal 360. So always remember that a full circle, a complete angle, is 360 degrees. Now I want to talk about a little bit of the relationship between the angles within circles and that of quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals are regular four-sided shapes. Quad or quarter and quadrant all make reference to the number 4. So four-sided shapes, quadrilaterals. So why does 360 degrees make sense for a whole circle? Well, for one, it's a number that has a lot of factors. You can divide 360 by 10, by 6, by 5, by 20, by 9, by 4. There's a lot of different options here. So it's a very well-rounded number that we can use because it's got a lot of factors. Also, if we have a look at a rectangle or a square, and we see all these little 90 degrees angles in the corners, and that we see it written here also. If you add all those up, 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90, that equals 360, which is exactly what we see on our protractor. This is also evidence here, where you've got these 4 blue lines, you've got your black angle going around, you've got your little 90-degree angle as a little square, and again, those 4 little squares will add up to the 360. So this is why, having known that a right angle is 90 degrees, That's how you know that an entire circle or an entire quadrilateral is 360 degrees. For shapes of other sizes, there's a little bit more variation, but we'll go into that in a future video. So just a bit of a quick recap of everything that we've learned. Got 6 different types of angles that we had a look at. An acute angle, which is less than 90 degrees and can look like this. 46 degrees is less than 90. A right angle, which it has to be exactly 90 degrees, like this one pictured. An obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180, hence 130 is a very good example of this. A straight angle has to be exactly 180 degrees, just like this one. Reflex angle is an angle that is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360. So this one of 308 degrees is a good example of that, a reflex angle. And the complete angle is the full circle, it's exactly 360 degrees. So that is today's lesson. I hope you've learned a lot. If you've got any questions, just put in the comments below.